Parents of Reddit, what has your toddler thrown you that even Google couldn't answer? Son, pointing, Daddy, what's that? Me, that's a cow. Son, why me? Because if it wasn't, son, it would be a space where a cow should be. We couldn't allow that. Let him deal with that enigma. My first grader asked in front of her entire classroom, why does the tooth fairy want my teeth? 36-year-olds looked at me for the answer. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of propaganda out there that likes the public to believe they use them to build beautiful enchanted castles for the fairies to live in, but I reckon it's a cover-up to hide the illegal trade of teeth for witch doctor medicines and piano keys. Human ivory trade is alive and well. Mommy, why are we alive? Christ, it's not even 8 a.m. Good question, Timmy. Hey Michael, Vsauce here. This isn't a why question, but my kid asked me, what's your favorite stairs? 2 weeks ago and I'm still confused. Edit. You guys are amazing and these responses have made my day. I can clearly respond to my 4-year-old now. Edit. My first silver. Thank you, stranger. Pretty straightforward. Upstairs or downstairs? Winking face. No favorite style of stairs. Mine are spiral, because it started out a functionality thing and now it's almost always an extravagance. Also, you're running around in circles while either ascending or descending, and that's just fun to think about. Why was I in space before your tummy? Tell me more, kid. It's time for me to tell you of your origin story and your true name. Kid Galactic. If there really were dragons, what would they cost? All the riches in Scotland. Edit. Spelling. I can't spell Scotland, and I am ashamed. Why do I love you so much? Daddy, are you going to be a boy when you grow down? No, son. You see, people only grow up because time is a one-way street. So everyone just grows old and dies, and there's nothing in the world you can do about it. That should stop the questions for a little while. Have fun explaining what happens when you die now. Everything happens. It just doesn't involve you anymore. Toddlers are just our shower thoughts incarnate, and are actually smarter than some thoughts people have on their under their showers. Who will be my mommy when you're gone? Tears everywhere. Reminds me of that picture of Doug Stanhope taken when he was crying while kissing the corpse of his just deceased father. He has the photo in his wallet and shows it to people whenever they show him pictures of their kids, to say, hey, this is how it ends. You did this. Quote. My cousin who's like 4 asked me at a family gathering, what's the best paper? Quote. Months ago, and I'm still wondering what he meant. For writing. College rule. Always college rule. For crafting and or paper airplanes. I always like cardstock because it's thicker and folds really nice. For rolling. I'm a traditionalist and like zigzags. For origami. I don't know. I don't do that. It's hard. For drawing, I like the Strathmore with the perforated edges so it tears nicely. And or the same brand of tracing paper. It's great quality. For wiping, 3-ply. It's gotta feel like a blanket on your butt. For keeping warm on a cold night, newspaper. Edit. The amount of knowledge of origami paper is incredible. I had no idea so many people knew so much about origami. Way to go, people. It's so cool that I can learn about that. Thanks for the info. Greater than for origami. I don't know. I don't do that. Reads just like any Amazon product. Question section. LMAO. It's hard. 1 star. Why are things called the way they are? I made the mistake of explaining that early people just made up words for things. Now my son has his own language he calls secret voice, but no 2 words are ever the same, so trying to decipher what he means when he points and says secret voice words is a fucking challenge. Nice. Ask him to teach you the secret language so he has a companion to talk to. This sounds like a lot of fun. Secret voice is impossible to learn, because no word is used for the same object twice. I have tried lol. He's good. Uses time-based tokens to encrypt the language. Your kid is the future of cryptography. True story. Mo, monsieur, what's the thing you put in your butt? Quote. She asked this for years and I would constantly tell her you don't put things in your butt. She would ask this all the time. Initially I was terrified she may have. Finally I got the answer. In Walmart. At the checkout. As I'm purchasing tampons she screams at the top of her lungs, "Those are what you stick up your butt." I must have had her with me at one time and it traumatized her. Although not more than I was in Walmart that day. My child was 5, pointed at condoms in the grocery store and asked what they were for. I was exhausted so I said, "They prevent babies." 2 weeks later he went to a friend's house who had a sibling. He discovered his friend had to share with his baby brother. And the baby brother was 3 and very annoying because he kept stealing the Legos they were building. Within my son has always been serious about his Legos. He asked why he didn't have a brother. I said, "Because you're an only child." "Do you want a brother or sister?" "No." "Well good, because you weren't gonna get one anyway." Back in Kroger a few days later and my child shouted at the top of his lungs, "Don't forget the condoms." I like being an only child. He didn't know why they prevented babies, he just wanted to make sure there wouldn't be any more. He now, age 13, refers to the dog as his brother because our dog is a thief who steals things and buries them in his toy box. My daughter used to ask why I took a pill every day and I said it was so we didn't have more kids. She and her dad were joking around and she said something sassy at him and he replied, "You'd better behave. I can just make more of you." She yelled back at him, "No you can't. Mom takes pills to stop that." Quote, "Mom, why don't I have a pee hose like the boys?" Quote, I laughed so hard. I couldn't come up with a legit answer. Pee hose, that's fucking funny lol. Why was everything in black and white when I was a baby? Maybe that kid saw an ultrasound. A lot of these questions seem odd until you have these types of revelations. A lot of these cues are formed around some tiny event in their life that an adult doesn't remember happening. My mom used to call jumping over waves at the beach, jumping the giants, and I introduced that to my son when he was a baby, holding his arms and lifting him as the waves broke at his feet. He's 9 now and said, "Do you remember how when I was a baby I thought waves were actually called giants?" My parents had a drawer in the kitchen where they kept sharp knives, peelers, can openers, etc., etc. Sharp stuff that a kid shouldn't be touching. They told me this by saying, "It's the dangerous drawer. Don't go near it." And for about * 10 fucking years ***, I thought the drawer itself was dangerous and wondered why they never bothered to fix the dangerous drawer. Why is green? A genuine question my daughter asked. Not, why is X green? Just, why is green? Single quote. Because our eyes make something of certain wavelengths on the electromagnetic spectrum into a color called green. Most likely to help differentiate items in the world or identify things like plants, since they, for the most part, are green, and we gained this trait from multiple generations of living things and species beforehand. My 5-year-old asked me why the world goes on forever and we do the same thing over and over again every day. Sorry, but I was hoping you would get to adulthood before feeling like that. Me. I love you. 3-year-old. Why? Me. Because you're my little boy. 3-year-old. Why? It's been 2 weeks and I'm still evaluating why. Sent me on an existential journey. Because you are a boy. You are little. And you are mine. Quote. And then hold them tight and blow them a giant raspberry, so they don't ask any more question. Hindsight's 2020. Wow. Some of these toddlers go deep. I was impressed when my 2-year-old developed from "I'm gonna lick it" about the dog, cat, mark on the kitchen cabinet, dodgy stain on someone's windowsill, etc. to "Can I lick it?" Then finally the proud day of "I better not lick that." Don't worry, as a teenager they will go back around to "I'm gonna lick it." Edit. Thanks Reddit. My top comment is about teenagers licking stuff. It's not necessarily a single why question. It's the fact he continues to ask, but why, after I've given him a perfectly good explanation to his original why question. My old English teacher said this is part of language acquisition. He has found a little word which, the first few times, gives him 100% of your attention and you are talking straight to hi monsieur, that's a reward. He's going to keep saying it because it gets him more time. He probably cares a bit about the subject, but it's more the conversation he's enjoying. All that attention from learning one small word. Why, quote, I was a bit of a scientific kid, and I remember doing it a bit when I was young. Funny how you learn indirectly from it. I asked an old woman, why are you old? And got a lesson about tact and rudeness I never forgot. So I learned some social manners. I also liked to ask, how do you know? Which annoyed me because I didn't mean it rudely. I meant, where did you get this information, so I might look up similar things, but I didn't have the vocabulary. I got a few smacks for, how do you know? And could never make mom understand I wasn't being rude. I remember having infant meltdowns over that one. When I asked about why the sky was blue or the sun was hot, mom would direct me to a book. This was pre-internet. Or tell me she didn't know, which was good training. Finally, if I continued that why chain downwards, it ended after 3 or 4 iterations with because God said so, and that would be the answer to any further questions too. My son asks me every day, why are we on this planet? Why are we here? He's 4 man. What do I answer? You ever wonder why we're here? It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it? Why are we here? I mean, are we the product of some cosmic coincidence? Or is there really a God watching everything? You know, with a plan for us and stuff. I don't know, man, but it keeps me up at night. What? I mean, why are we out here, in this canyon? Oh, yeah. When I was in the army and back home on mid-tour leave, my 5-year-old niece asked me, Uncle Tupikit, what is war? Quote, like shit kid, I don't even know that answer. Edit. See, even adults don't. I am getting song lyrics, video game quotes, political theory quotes, and some are, I am 14 and this is deep stuff. Edit 2. Sigh, I get it guys, war never changes, you can stop now. EDIT 3. You guys, I don't need your definitions. What is it good for? Musical notes. Absolutely nothing. My son was the wire. 4.5 Yo son in bath. Moomy, come here, I have something to show you. Me. What's up bud? 4.5 Yo son. Pulling his penis to the side and aggressively pulling at his balls. Why does this have wrinkles? When my fingers aren't wrinkly yet, and why when I stretch it like this the wrinkles go away? Me. Well, I don't have one, so I really have no idea. Let me get your dad. He killed me with his whys, especially since most of them were concerning his penis, poop or throwing up. Who can blame him? These are valid subjects worthy of study. Why is it wrinkly? Helps keep the temperature down. It's a cooling system like the fins on a radiator. For proper functioning it needs to be about 3 or 4 degrees cooler than core body temp. Edit spelling. Where was I before I was born? Space according to another child in a previous comment. Or in my wrinkly sack. My record for answering why questions was 22 in a row. My hat's off to you, sir, madam, noble person. Meh, my toddlers are easy. They usually just want to know why they have to have a nap or put on clean socks. My 6 and 7-year-olds, however, throw some weird shit at me. I got really excited the other day when my 7-yo asked me why some trees lose their leaves in the winter but pine trees and other spiky trees keep theirs. I did a brief explanation about the difference between deciduous and coniferous trees and how chlorophyll is collected and stored. It went great. He immediately followed it up with, how do we know that some cities and houses actually have real people in them and aren't really just full of plastic cutouts that look like people? Quote, that's some conspiracy theory shit in the making. Are we in the Truman Show? Lol. Don't let that kid know about the fake birds or Australia. My 3-year-old son most mornings. Where'd daddy go? Quote me. He went to work. Him. Cause why? Quote me. So he can make money so we can have a house and food and clothes. Him. Cause why? Quote me. Like kid, I haven't even had coffee yet. Because you don't own the means of production and therefore have to sell your labor. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.